Okay, we are now live on YouTube. Well, good Sunday afternoon, everyone. Probably gonna have to copy this link into my Facebook page. Yeah, I got all right, one person on here, so I am gonna copy this. I'll just let you know what we're looking at right now. Let's see, that should be the right one there. Nope, there we go. Full screen's 2. We've got this supercell thunderstorm that's producing some very large hail right across the state line, and I know it's got that hook echo pattern on it, but most of this, what you're seeing on velocity, is that of and I got slow internet connection, maybe. That's not helping. But what's going on is we got this storm that's producing a lot of hail, and it's just about ready to cross into the just north of Red Bay. I'll go ahead and zoom in here. All right. Again, my office hasn't been set up for a while, so there we zoomed in a little bit more for you. What we're watching here, I got this screen here. You can see all this purple color up here in the reflectivity. That's very evident of large hail, probably golf ball size hail with this storm. And you can kind of see this pattern where it stretches out. And what we're looking at there is the upward vertical velocity. There's a lot of twisting going on with this storm. It's got a strong mesocyclone, but right now it's not coming together to produce a tornado yet. So that's some good news here. Been watching this for a while, and it continues to move to the east at about 35 miles an hour or so. Let me put this into motion here. You can kind of see the trend here over time. It's moving pretty much due east. At some point in time, this is going to run out of instability and just kind of fade away. But let me go ahead and copy this. Let me go to my YouTube channel here, other spot, and then I'm going to copy and paste it. And home. So bear with me while I go through this, because for some reason I was in there. This has happened before. I don't know why it's using the wrong thumbnail too. Oh well. Share. Let me just click on that. All right, there's a commercial. I had to run that. Okay, get to Facebook here. Okay, so for some reason, I don't know what it, and that thing says Saturday update. That's an old video. I don't know why it. Okay. Next. Oh, I'm not boosting. Oh no. I just hit boost post. I really didn't want to do that, but oh well. Here we are. So let me see if somehow I can change what that looks like. Okay. Change that. I'll just do that. That way it doesn't, because that was an old image, so I didn't go through and edit enough. But yeah, I can see your comments on here. Again, we are tracking this big thunderstorm. It's just starting to kind of become more of a right mover here. Just in the last few frames, you kind of see it sliding a little bit to the to the southeast. So it's kind of switch. I am going to go ahead and kind of move this around this way. Get a little farther out too. Yeah, here's living in a mobile home in Henniger. You're going to be fine. These storms are going to die as they move east of I-65. Yeah, and the storms are just, again, we're right on this edge here. These storms just have the right environment right over the state line. And I think we're going to see a big change with these storms here in about 45 minutes or so to an hour. But again, I've got my Christmas tree still up behind me here. Again, my office is a mess, but just wanted to share. Some of you probably still have your Christmas trees up too, right? So the main concern here with this thunderstorm we have, let me go ahead and do a kind of a picture-in-picture here on this. So what we're looking at is basically that thunderstorm that is moving into southern Colbert County and northern Franklin County. It's been producing quite a bit of hail here lately, and it's got a lot of potential for damaging straight line winds. There's probably a rotating wall cloud associated with this as well. I don't have any of my information for the Weather Service coming in. I'm just basically showing you what I've got here. And what we see is some mid-level rotation with this, and there's some rotation starting to try to make its way to the surface. But again, we're kind of at a timing point here with this storm to where we're trying to figure out when it's going to run into this more stable air. And I've put this over time. Right now, the back edge of the storm is about to cross in from Mississippi. And this severe thunderstorm warning does have a tag on it, we call it, and it says tornado possible. So that's kind of the thinking about this is that, you know, given the right environment, if this gets just enough instability, we could see a possible tornado develop on the back edge of this. But for right now, this looks primarily to be a hailstorm, and there's really not a lot of lightning. I am surprised that there's not much lightning. And by the way, you get up north. Let me go ahead and change one of the. I'm going to change this here. There's still a strong storm up north near Gravelly Springs. So let me go ahead and get my glasses on here so I can see this better. But we're going to look at the hail potential. And wow, there's a lot of hail. There's a lot of hail with this storm. I'll go ahead and zoom in here to the area of most concern. And this is going to be pretty much over Red Bay. Very close to Red Bay. I mean, it's kind of peaking out here on this scale here. So that's what we're most concerned with right now is very large hail. This is moving towards Littleville. Over time, again, it could weaken a bit before it makes its way completely into Littleville. But it's a nasty thunderstorm, no doubt about it. And you should be seeking shelter indoors. Stay away from your windows. If you're in the path of this storm, this is going to be impacting. Let me just go ahead and Google Earth this. Again, I'm kind of out of my normal studio environment. So we'll just go in here with the maps. That doesn't look too bad, the display. So again, pardon my Christmas tree. I'm actually hiding most of it, right? So as we get into this storm, let's take a look at where we are here. Yeah, it's pretty much just over Red Bay and the Vina area. And it's moving due east towards, again, moving due east towards Littleville. Well, actually, it's north of Red Bay. Excuse me, Red Bay's actually on this map. Again, I'm using different software that I'm not normally used to watching it. But it's in the north of Pleasant site right now. And it's kind of in a fairly rural area here. And we've got, you know, the Freedom Hills Wildlife Management Area it's going through. But again, it's on its way to Littleville. Should be there in about 30 minutes. So Russellville, it's going to be real close, especially if this turns to the right a little bit more. But again, the largest hail is going to be the White Oak area. And the winds are picking up south of this storm too. There's quite a bit of wind going on with this. Let me get back to see what questions you got here. And I can't read that one. Yeah, I figured there'd be a wall cloud with this. Again, it's a rotating supercell thunderstorm. It's just not producing a tornado yet. And it's really right on that edge of that environment to produce that potential. Let me go ahead and just take that one there. So we're going to watch this storm continue to move east, but at some point it's going to start weakening. And I think the setting sun is going to help for one. And then we're also looking at the instability not being as high here either. I don't know, Dalton, on that camera location specifically. I imagine it's probably at a Tupelo television station. We'll see. We got a regional airport there. You know what? I'll look at WTVA weather cameras. Thanks for the tip on that. I don't see anything right now. But most of these are pointed at the road. Again, these are MDOT cameras here at TVA. Let's see if we got another link in here. No, I don't. Yes, Marty Henniger's likely just going to get rain later this evening. I don't see a real severe... In fact, this threat's probably going to go away. Let's see, that radar image was old. So, again, it's pretty much hugging the county line there of Colbert County and Franklin County and continue to move to the east. And overall, I'm not... Let's switch this up here and see if I can find any... the rotation here. So we got vertically integrated liquid. Again, this is the hail over here, the left side of the screen. And there's velocity. Whoops, the right side. Yeah, so again, we're not seeing any tight rotation associated right where you would want it. I think I'm getting spammed here in the comment section. So let me go back. To the normal reflectivity on one side. And then we'll go back over here to storm relative velocity on the other one. So what we're looking at is, again, there's a lot of rotation in the mid-levels, and that rotation is what's keeping this storm going and producing the large hail. And we'll continue to monitor that. So again, we're tracking thunderstorm, this one particular thunderstorm cell that's severe, mainly looking at hail. And again, this is probably going to go on for another 35, 40 minutes to maybe an hour. And then I think we're going to get rain cooled over here. And as this moves east, it's going to run into a less favorable environment for severe weather. So that is good news there. So again, a lot to look at here on this map. Let me put my glasses on, speaking of looking. Yeah, if you live east of I-65, there's really no reason to worry about any severe weather. There will be some much needed rain. At least I need some more rain. But very large hail, and even the hail size is going down a bit. So this is some good news. We're probably, hopefully, seeing a weakening trend here. But, you know, here's another thing to consider is sometimes when you get a big drop in the VIL value, it can be a precursor to tornado genesis. So we'll have to watch that. But I'm really not seeing a huge lightning jump, so to speak. So I'll put this into motion. You can kind of see how we're losing some of that. Let me make sure we're on the closest radar here. Yeah, we are. Okay, that's the classic Ville value. You can see numerous thunderstorms back behind this as well. And I think this main thunderstorm ahead is going to pretty much take the punch out of the atmosphere, so to speak. So let me turn that off. Go to a single mode here so you can get kind of a better idea. We're going to look at the velocity. You can kind of see this one jumps off the screen quite a bit. The one there in northern Franklin County and southern Colbert County. I'm going to get back in here. Before I do, let's go ahead and switch you back over here to the reflectivity. You're more familiar with seeing that. But again, still a nasty wound-up storm. There's another one south of Pontotoc over there in Mississippi, showing similar characteristics here. So that's pretty much the tornado warning went away from the Memphis area. They were under that tornado warning a little while ago. Oh, you're welcome. So we've got this rotating thunderstorm. It's mainly rotating in the mid-levels. So it's most of the rotation is like up in here, and that's producing the hail. And then where we would want to look for rotation is going to be down here, where you'd see the towards and away. So let's go into that. Yeah, see, there's not much there. It's not gate to gate, that's for sure. But there is some rotation here. You've got this going on here and this there. So I'm sure the Weather Service is watching this closely. But again, that's almost like an artifact. You see it kind of shows up and goes away. Go ahead and take that off. So again, a lot to look at on this thunderstorm, that's for sure. So again, this is a dangerous storm in the aspect of the potential for the large hail, probably golf ball size, and then, of course, the frequent lightning, the damaging winds. So a lot of times we look at these storms, and when they start to rotate like this, you get that updraft going, and it's that updraft that produces the large hail. So storms that can produce quarter-size hail or larger can also produce 60-mile-per-hour winds and higher. This right here looks like it may be starting to cross the line as it may be running into the air that's not as unstable. Okay, it says not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming as much. Again, I'll have this all set up. Again, I'm building that studio out in the garage, and I won't run into these internet issues. We're going to have a full-fledged system up. Okay, yeah. I don't know why. I mean, I shouldn't have any problems with the internet because I'm like right here. Yeah, my office is right here. All the Wi-Fi is right here, but my Wi-Fi is not the best. So again, I'm bouncing in and out, but I will tell you this storm here does show some signs that it may be weakening a bit. Let's see another product here real quick. That's what I was looking at earlier. That's kind of maintaining itself. And then notice up north, this storm here, they've got a new severe thunderstorm warning they just issued on that. So that one's near the Grovelly Springs area. All right. And spotters reporting a possible funnel cloud with that. That was 10 minutes ago. Again, the storm down here to the south near Russellville. Take a look at the velocity again. Again, there's more than likely a rotating wall cloud with this. But it's just so far so good here. They've just adjusted that. You see how we're kind of getting separation here? So again, we'll just keep watching this storm over here in northern Franklin County and southern Colbert County. History of hail. And that's about all we can kind of do right now. Again, this is a severe thunderstorm. There's two of them now, one in northern Lauderdale County, and that's going to move just north of Florence and more towards Lexington. There's still a rotating updraft with this storm over here in northern Franklin County. Let's take another look at velocity here. And that's the same thing as that other one is doing there. So let's take another look here at reflectivity. So we've got a lot. This storm is looking a little bit different. It's the shape on the back especially is starting to change some. And that's good. It's not like rotating and the back end coming around yet. We'll have to continue to watch that. It says, can you fix the screen so we can see it? Well, that's it. I'll take it full. There's the full screen version. And I guess I could stick myself in here. So I could pop up down there. Probably want me over there in the other corner though. There we go. So again, we got that two severe thunderstorms now. The one to the north I'm not concerned at all about really right now for a tornado threat. It's this one in the southern areas that we'll just have to watch closely. But yeah, just another Sunday afternoon. Boy, it's been windy out there today too. So as we continue on, we've got a couple more cells back here to the west. Of course, the main one is this one here. You're going to get a really good view of that from Russellville. Got another one here near Pontotoc, and then that other severe storm north of Memphis. But most likely, all this area back here is just going to end up with heavy rain tracking across the same area. Let me put that into motion there for you. So the more rain we can get back here, you notice how we're getting more rain over here? What size hail do you have there, Amy, in Cloverdale? That's that northern storm. Probably, I would guess dime to nickels. Again, that's the storm up here. That one's really putting down a lot of lightning too. Yeah, right down from Cedar Creek Dam. So again, hoping this storm continues smaller than dimes. Thanks, Amy. A lot more lightning with the northern storm. And I can switch, let's switch the radar sources here. Let's go to the high top. Go to high top radar. Put the names back on. So we've got storms that are basically splitting the shoals. So you got storms south of Muscle Shoals, storms north of Muscle Shoals in Florence, and also even going to stay north of Killen most likely. But there's quite a bit of hail with these storms here. Let's see. So yeah, we're starting to get, again, it's good to hear that report there so we know what size hail we've got. I think that hail is getting larger with the storm north of Gravelly Springs. And it's going to be moving towards Anderson and Lexington, so get ready there. So we've got, so it's on top of Cloverdale now, headed towards Zip City. Again, I'm talking about the hail with this thunderstorm to the north. Probably approaching dime size hail now. Let me switch radar sites again. Get a better view here. I want to keep it close. Yeah, see this is not very tight rotation on the back edge of this storm. So that's good news. That's what we're kind of monitoring here. But you're going to get very large hail if this continues just north of Russellville, between there and Littleville. And it's going to be south of Muscle Shoals. Leeton, we'll keep an eye on that. And then up here, farther north, we've got in the Zip City area, we're probably going to see hail the size of nickels, maybe a little bit larger than that. This is moving towards Arkdale, basically eventually going to track along Highway 64 and up there towards Anderson on Highway 99 and 207. probably just north of Whitehead, north of Rogersville with this. So again, last report there was a little bit smaller than dime size hail. Let me check my other messages here. So a lot of storm activity moving into the northwest corner of the state right now. Yes. Several low clouds flew in. Yeah, there's a lot. There's not a lot of wind shear. I mean, there's a lot of rotation going on in the atmosphere, but the highest wind shear values. Let me go to the weather. Let me do this mesoanalysis and see what's going on with the atmosphere. It is just after 6 o'clock, so new observations will probably just get in here. There's pretty good bulk shear, we call it. And there's the Cape is 1,000, but as you get into Lawrence County, these storms are going to start dying because they're going to run out. Number one, the instability is not as high there, and in fact, I might be able to just show this to you real quick. So this is what we're looking at here. So we've got the very edge of this instability. This is the 1,000 Cape right on the state line. So I would anticipate this is going to weaken once it gets east of there. That's why Huntsville's not under this watch, this severe thunderstorm watch. Let me go ahead and maximize that. So again, as these storms approach Town Creek and Cortland and Moulton, and even up here towards Anderson and Rogersville, they will likely weaken because the atmosphere is not very supportive of severe thunderstorms that far east. And we've been monitoring this for a while, and we've been aware of that situation. That's why we've, talked more about the hail threat. Fayetteville, you guys are going to have heavy rain and thunderstorms, but I don't think you're going to have anything larger than maybe dime-size hail if that continues that way. Open widget. What does that mean? Let me see what this means. See if I can fix this buffering thing that we're dealing with. Okay, well, it's not receiving enough video. It just must be the internet connection's bad. And it shouldn't be. I'm right next to it. All right. Now, Huntsville is not under the watch unless they just reissued and extended it. And honestly, I don't think there's much reason to... Let's see what we got here. I think it doesn't help that we're streaming on other TV devices, watching March Madness in the other room, so it probably hurts my connection. That was 43 minutes ago. No, I mean, the watch ends at Limestone County. Morgan County is not included. We've had some large hail reports from that storm. Let me take a look at those. Okay, so these have been quarter-size hail, basically, has been falling from this, and we've had golf ball-size hail also, and that's the southern storm. I wouldn't be surprised if we get up to quarter-size hail in the other storm, too. Ardmore, you're going to get thunderstorms, heavy rain, things like that, but overall, I don't see a major impact. Again, as this moves east, it's going to run into some air that's not really supported for severe weather. We're starting to see the hail size drop, or at least the VIL value. Let me check the other one. Yeah, we're going to start seeing some of these drop here, but still looking at large hail north of Russellville. You're going to get a good view of this storm there in Russellville. In fact, yeah, there's just a lot of wind. Yeah, good day to plant seeds out there. Yeah, Florence, you guys technically are not in the severe thunderstorm warning. Lauderdale County is, and Colbert County is. However, you've got two storms. There's one north and there's one south. Let's see what's happening on these echo tops. What we want to see is these echo tops start dropping. They're not very high. Let's see something here. So 40,000 foot tops. And earlier, this one's gone up a little bit though. So again, what you kind of look for is the tops of these thunderstorms, and that's what we're looking at here, 40,000 feet in the air, kind of looking for a point where they start to drop. Because as they drop, what happens is that just means they're weakening. So that's kind of some of your first signs of that happening. There's a lot of wind coming in the back of this storm here. Basically, that's a good question, Smoke and Rail. It's going to be in the low levels, the surface-based instability. You can have elevated thunderstorms, which I think this may actually transition into elevated storms, especially tonight as these encounter even more stable air. But a pretty nasty storm again. This is right along the county line here from Franklin County into southern Colbert County. I don't expect any impact here from hail in Florence, Sheffield, Muscle Shoals, or Tuscumbia from this storm here. It's the one south of you. Lots of hail moving into Littleville. So, yeah, the temperature's really not going to... What temperatures do basically is they initiate convection. It warms up, the air rises, but the dew point temperatures are the critical part of it all. Now, let me see what the dew point temperatures are like. I'm going to guess they're low 60s out west, and probably upper 50s east. What's the score, honey?
We're on the Kentucky-Illinois game.
Oh, what's the score of the Kentucky-Illinois game?
What is it, 70?
It just went away.
Just went away.
Oh.
72-61, Kentucky, 5 minutes left.
Oh, man, I got Illinois. Oh, thank you. So, yeah, I'm looking at this other map here, and it's just, there should be a very sharp drop-off. They've extended that severe thunderstorm warning now over here to include Lawrence County, eastern Colbert County, and they've kind of shifted it a little bit north. You can kind of see that on there. And the overall look of the radar looks better to me. Let me get this warning here and read it off for you. I just put that up 9 minutes ago. They're going with 2-inch hail with that storm. That's not the new warning, though. Not sure why it's not doing that. Okay, here it is. No, that's 53 minutes ago. So they're just basically continuing the warning with the same wording, but I'm telling you, I think this is going to weaken here within the next 30 minutes. It may weaken rapidly too, so that's good. And as these storms run into this more stable air, we're probably going to see some strong gusty winds move through Town Creek and Cortland as the storm collapses. So we continue to monitor the back edge of this storm, but I just don't see signs of an imminent tornado. Let me get rid of that. Yeah, so Russellville is in this severe thunderstorm warning, but I think the worst of it is going to end up north of you. I'm going to go ahead and switch radar sites real quick. Go back over here. You're going to see a different look from this particular radar because it's going to hit this storm a little bit higher in the air. But at some point, you need to get the closer radar. It's still going to give us good VIL value information. So we've got weakening in the northern storm. There's St. Florine. And that's, again, that storm's weakening on its way towards Lexington and Anderson. The storm moving into Littleville still has a potential for golf ball size hail. We've had reports of that earlier from the storm, but it's also likely going to weaken some here in the next 30 minutes as it does encounter that. Storms are moving at about 30 miles an hour to the east. Well, I think I've got Illinois. I haven't checked my bracket lately. I guess I can check that while we wait for the radar update. Let me go ahead and put you back in this regular mode here. So again, severe thunderstorm warnings out in northwest Alabama. The severe thunderstorm watch basically ends at Limestone County. And I think that's where we're going to see this threat of severe weather end is in eastern. It may die before it even gets to Athens too. So once again, all right. Let me see. Checking my bracket, by the way. I don't get to do this at work. Okay. I am in third place. Only 10 points out of first place, though. Marquette was my sleeper. Let's see here. Yeah, I've got Illinois. I've got Illinois. Down by 10, we'll see. So again, when I first came on with this, we were looking at a fairly significant supercell storm, and it really looks like I'm looking at the video over here I've got, and it just seems really delayed. Tips for building a storm shelter. Make one, get the biggest one you possibly can. Biggest one you can afford. This is my third shelter I've got now, and it's by far the biggest. It's 16 foot by 7 feet. Because I had one that was, you get claustrophobic in some of those. If you got pets, you got to think about that. The number one failure on storm shelters is the door. Make sure you get a FEMA approved door. It's going to be steel door, and you're going to have, mine has three locks on it. I've got a video on my YouTube channel about it. So again, just make sure it's approved by the Storm Shelter Association. And mine is, I overbuild everything, and it's probably way overbuilt. I've got rebar every 8 inches. I got number 5 rebar up and down, and then diagonal. So horizontal and diagonal, and vertical, I should say. And I actually like the above ground shelters better because you go in the ground. I mean, you got to think of the elderly people, or if you're in a wheelchair, those kind of things. It's really hard to get someone who's not physically fit to be able to get into the storm shelter. And then there's flooding issues, as Daniel mentioned. Sometimes you'll have a fiberglass one if you've had all this rain, and if it'll float. So I've seen those fiberglass ones float. Yeah, reinforced concrete is probably the best way to go. And if you've got cinder block alone won't help you because you're going to want to reinforce that, pour it in there. Yeah, we got some large hail over here. Let me switch radar sites. That's what I was going to do. Yeah, they're picking that up. Yeah, so we got another similar storm here, probably looking at golf ball size hail over there in Tupelo. And let's take a look at storm relative velocity. Not very impressive. Still a lot of mid-level rotation with that storm north of Russellville. Yeah, there's not much going on with that one. Just a lot of large hail. And we still have this, again, you're looking way up into the storm up there, north of Florence, north of the Cox Creek Parkway. And that's where you've got large hail. Again, there may be some people on social media, I've seen it in the past, that will look at these hook echoes and say, oh, there's where the tornado is. But these, you get a classic hail setup. And there's the hail moving into Littleville. I think the hail size is probably dropping with the storm north of Killen. Let me go ahead and get in here real quick. So this storm continues to move east into Littleville, probably looking at quarter to golf ball size hail, possibly, if it's still capable of that. There's going to come a point where this will start to weaken, and we're starting to see some of that. Yeah, so this does not look like it used to, that's for sure. So I'm going to go ahead and log off, guys. Enjoy the rest of my Sunday. And again, I don't expect any surprises. This would be the only thing that I was concerned really with was this southern storm. And it's going to be moving away from the highest instability. So that's some good news. But thanks for checking out the channel. Subscribe so you get updates. Again, I'm going to have a whole production thing in my new garage studio. And that's probably realistically, probably about 4 or 5 months away. It'll definitely be ready for severe weather season next season as we go into November. All right, I'm going to sign out. Thanks again.